Hello, this is Grace and
Persia, hello.
Persia. Welcome back to the video lecture series we're doing. We're going to talk about what you can expect in a good shamanic session, or at least a session with us, and how that would look and what we do for people who are curious. Those who've already worked with us will know this, but this is for people who are sort of new to our work and are maybe interested in understanding what we do. So, what we do, and this comes from multiple traditions, and we're loosely calling it shamanic work, although it's just basically what many traditions do, and they call it different things, but it has that loose meaning in our Western culture now. We are, first of all, what we do is we are going to gather information in the light through a meditation that we do, through years of our own rigorous practice and studying and initiations. We have gotten closer to the light through dismantling our own projections, which allows us to communicate with the light on your behalf. And we're able to track you, we call it tracking. We're able to track your light body in the infinite light field, which we're all connected to and part of. So with your permission, we always have to get permission. We use your voice often. Sometimes we've been able to use a photo. It just depends. But often we just have someone leave their name. That's it. Just the name. And through that voice marker, we're able to do the meditation and find the light body. And in the light body is contained all of the information about our spiritual journey, about what's going on. Yeah, it's like our blueprint, the map of our life. And we always ask Spirit on your behalf to show us the core wound, show us what interventions can be done to help you as a spiritual being move forward from this point. So everyone's at a different point in their journey and we see different things. But typically what we're going to be seeing is something that is connected to where you're stuck or blocked right now in your life, and what we can do on the light's behalf to help move you forward. So we are not house cleaners. We're not going to come and fix your life and tell you what to do. What we're going to do is we're going to find certain projections, certain stories or traumas that are being imprints. Yeah, we call them imprints. Ultimately, they're a complex that has created a certain way that we're operating in the world that's not healthy. And it's holding us back from our evolution. So we're going to see that stuff, and it's specific to everybody. A good shaman will be able to find this information. It'll be very specific, very detailed. It'll be about you, and it'll be some. And often we see things we have no idea. We have no opinion about what we're seeing, and often we have no idea what it even means. And when we present the information to the individual, they'll know exactly what we're talking about.
Only a small bit of it we don't know what it means. Yeah, a lot of it's super obvious.
Yeah. But often, sometimes we've just picked up, a very detailed message about something that is very relevant to a person, and that's so that it helps the person have faith with what we're doing, and it makes it relevant to them and their life.
And again, have faith that the light is working on their behalf, because we're only like radio receivers. We're not the ones who have an opinion about what happened and what took place, and we have no previous information. So the light is the one that decides what to tell us. And the reason why the elders and all the lineages we practice out of all 5, they want us to focus on what we call the core wound, because that's shaping your perception of yourself. That's shaping your projections and perceptions about who you are at the core, and how you see the world, how you relate in creating relationships that are functional or not functional, how you relate in terms of what you're holding on to that could be destructive and limiting you in multiple areas of your life, including, relationships, health, work, a sense of clarity, even your ability to meditate. It impacts your intuition. It impacts your sense of self-awareness immensely. in every single facet of your life. So because we ask what is the core wound, the majority of the time, I'd say 99% of the time, we're going to see what perceptions you were imprinted with in childhood. And we see clear events that took place.
There is, this also depends on how much spiritual work you've done yourself to heal and progress yourself, because some people who are just at day one of being spiritual and they have a lot going on in their personal life, and they need to break free from a lot of things that are going on. Sometimes we won't see the childhood because that person's not ready to see the childhood. We have to work on some other interventions. Sometimes they're corded to certain toxic relationships and they need to leave that relationship, and there's for lack of a better term, curses coming to them from certain people or relationships in their life, and they need help getting that cleaned up and moving away from those toxic relationships before they're able to do some of the deeper work on the childhood stuff. So
yeah, if they have something current going on in their life that's so primary and urgent that it has to be dealt with first.
Like we've had some people in very almost emergency situations dealing with a severe trauma. I can think of a veteran that we saw that had PTSD and had done ayahuasca without any assistance. We never recommend to do medicine ceremonies without help. And he was suffering with some stuff that we were able to easily remove, and it got him stable enough to then start moving his life forward. So those sort of situations pop up. Again, it's very specific, and it has to always do with how much work you've already done on yourself. And whatever your next step is, the divine light is going to show us what that step is. We're going to present that information to you, and we're going to then come up with a plan with you through different practices and different steps that we know of to move things forward. And then we have certain energetic interventions that we have learned, and they're all, they vary all over the place depending on what people have going on, and we just kind of follow the light's guidance to do those things.
Should share some of what those are?
We can share some of them. Yeah, it like I already mentioned. There's people. Our culture's a little weird about this term, but there's people who get curses from ancestors, from their lineage. There's people who have cords to certain types of toxic relationships. There's all kinds of things that can be stuck in the light body that are blocks. There are different things that can be stuck in the chakras. We look at all the chakras.
There's unconscious agreements that we've made that
we
are
call them
self-destructive.
Soul contracts. So there can be destructive soul contracts. There can be patterns that have established because of trauma that, like the fight or flight system in your body might be turned on in a way where we're going to be able to work on that energetically to help reduce it down, maybe even turn it off, depending on how much work someone's already done. We will see
It's lost soul parts.
Soul retrieval. So there's soul parts that we leave when we experience acute or even long-term traumas and neglect. Our soul part we can kind of become separated from soul parts. So we'll find those soul parts, and sometimes it could be in the underworld, sometimes it can be in the upper world. The divine light shows us where they're at, and we can go and bring them back. Or if we can't bring them back right away, we will have certain instructions about what the person needs to do to prepare themselves to receive their soul part back. Because often, again, because we're not just cleaning up someone's life, we're going to help the person develop the right practices, devotion, and sincerity, and the right spiritual practice so that they can prepare themselves to get their soul parts back, because it often and always depends on our free will and our attention and how much we desire to do the work on ourselves. And God responds to that. The divine light responds to how much effort we put in. So if we put in a lot of effort and we do a lot of cleaning up in our life to remove bad habits and bad relationships.
Some of those habits could be like agreeing to really unhealthy boundaries where you're codependent, your soul part's not going to feel safe coming back until you work on that.
So we will talk at length about how to develop safety in your life for your own authentic connection to divine source or to the light and to your own soul. So we potentially would talk
through the
about
chakras.
that. Yeah, and we would see it, how it's developing in the chakras.
The chakras are energy centers in the body that are going to take on these imprints from childhood and get stuck and trapped with heavy energies. So we illuminate and clear those heavy energies. We give you the exact events that cause those energies to be in there, and we tell you precisely what is going to be done in the interventions, and we clear the energy, and then we bring it back. The chakras are naturally supposed to be feeding off of light, which is our true nature. So we bring back the light into the chakra after the clearing. And sometimes we also, bring gifts for people as well.
That can happen as well.
That happens sometimes if we're given the message to do
Certain
that.
empowerments, certain gifts can come in. If you are ready for them, they'll show up, and we just activate them because the divine light is guiding us to do so. Again, this is all so that you can progress spiritually, evolve yourself spiritually, and get closer to the divine light. So that's our goal for our work.
And the talk that we give you about your ongoing work after you leave the session is about we give you specific practices that empower you to connect to the divine, and we show you how to clear what's kept you from that, because the divine is where our intuition, by getting that closeness to the divine, our clarity and intuition expands exponentially. And we want the divine to do a co-creative process with you as an empowered being to heal some of these patterns. And what's really important to know about that, we go deep into that in the session, explaining how to do that, but we are not coaches or therapists. So we're not doing psychoanalysis on our clients. The information doesn't come from us, it comes from the light. And we are not coaches because we're not asking you what your external desires are and how to manifest them. This is strictly for people who want to get rid of false perceptions that are destroying their life, that are held within due to suffering. That's very different because you can't really create from a place of clarity and alignment when you're holding internal false perceptions. And the people who come to see us have to feel very receptive and desiring of that. For change.
Yeah.
Because if you're coming to us and you're like, how can I get married and make more money? That's not the goal. The goal is to get aligned and to let go of what's harming you. It may end in great health and great relationships, and for us, it's had an immense impact on many areas of our lives. But a medicine person who knows how to track the core wound, that means, and they can do it consistently 100% of the time, that means that that person has gone through the initiation required to be sanctioned to actually do this work. And if they can't do that, and they're just giving psychoanalysis or, regurgitating books, quotes from books, that's not what a shaman is. You have to be able to see what's in the unconscious of your client. So it's essential to understand that we're not making an agreement to be coaches or therapists. That's not what we do.
All right. So there is a short video on
the light is the
work.
one who gives the info.
Yeah.
The divine loving light is the one that heals you. We've learned the methods that are scientific in order to be able to receive that info and share it with you. It's not coming from us.
Yeah.
And the light comes in and heals you. It's not coming. We don't use our own personal power. We have zero exhaustion when we work with people. In fact, we're kind of lit up and energized because there's so much light coming in. We never get entangled or take anything personally, and we never try to change people. We have 100% respect for the free will of our client. Because as a healer, you'll completely burn out if you're trying to change people. We don't do that. We put the responsibility in your hands, but we give you the tools that are effective to do it.
So that's it. So we'll talk with you again in another video, and thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Take care.
Take care.